Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Matthew Wood! Hey! How are you, sir? Come, grab a seat. Now, tell me, Matthew, what have you been up to recently? What are you working on at the moment, I should say?
Well, I came in on Thursday night, and we're working on season 2 of Clone Wars right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got that underway, and I finished up a couple movies last year. I worked on Wall-E,
Right.
which was fun. And, before that, we did There Will Be Blood, which is a totally different kind of movie, but but we do a lot of films at Sky, or a lot of films, different kind of films at Skywalker, other than the Star Wars movies. But now we're doing Clone Wars.
And congratulations on your nominations, your Oscar nominations.
Yeah, that was a fun treat.
Yeah.
The Oscars, so it's great.
Look, before we start, I think, what is it? Are you the envy of all of the sound operators around the world? Because not only do you get to work in front of the camera, you get to work behind the camera, and you've got a toy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, it is fun to be able to have a role that people as fans can identify with, as like the battle droids or Grievous or something like that, because then I do get to take this energy back. I mean, functions like this at the Disney weekends, and I get to meet fans one-on-one, and then take that back to Skywalker Ranch, and tell my other friends that aren't, you know, in front of the camera, like what it's like out there working on films and seeing the direct response. So that's a big joy for me, for sure.
It is interesting because you're an unassuming young man.
Okay.
Headhunted in 1990.
Yeah.
To do this, you must have been like 5.
Right.
But we've got a clip of you and George themselves discussing the behind the scenes. Let's have a look at it.
To me, the sound is a very important part of the picture. For some reason, I think you sort of cut the picture and then you just dump the sound on later. It's much more thought out than that.
Most people don't realize all the different sound elements that make up a final soundtrack of the film. Like the Foley and the sound effects and the ADR and the production dialogue. And that process will take about a year before we get to the mix.
How far away are they? 15,000 miles?
Yeah, something like that. So the actor's in Sydney, and George and I are going to be in this theater in the main house.
Long distance looping.
Yeah.
The audio is going via ISDN. It's being encoded on both ends to sound CD quality. And then the video is actually, I've got a duplicate video on both sides, and I'm just sending control information to both. So I'm not actually sending video.
Fett demanded only one thing, an unaltered clone for himself.
This is the best we've ever had it. In terms of the setup, and the quality, and the ability to actually do it.
Yeah.
This works amazingly well, considering that they're in Australia and we're here.
I lived through that.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I did a looping session, or a session where you stand in the box, you have a look at the screens, and George is on the other end, a million miles away, going, yeah, I like it. And you sit there going, he must have the Force, because he can see everything.
Yeah.
Your character, Grievous.
Right.
Did you base it on any crazy uncles? Or?
No, I based it, that came out of, you know, George, we were looking for the voice for the new villain, and we had tried all different kinds of actors in Sydney and Los Angeles and New York, and it was getting down to the wire, and Rob Coleman, our animation director, was telling Rick McCallum, our producer, like, we need someone in here really quick, and George was like, no, I don't like this, no, like that, and I had just gone to Prague and come back, and I had this Eastern European accent thing that I was trying, and I actually threw my own voice into a set of auditions, and because George kept saying kind of like a Dracula thing. So I figured like yelling, Eastern European Dracula, and I kind of put that all together and sent it in under a pseudonym name because he knows me, so I didn't want to have that affected, and so he ended up choosing my name out of the list, or out of the group.
So
of
and the pseudonym name was Tori Spelling, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. No, it was just Alan Smitty, but that's a little film term name.
And you know what, it's interesting because you're telling me this now. A young man called Harrison Ford did the same, wasn't it? It was about doing the read-throughs, and next they couldn't find Han Solo.
Yeah, that can happen. Like that can definitely happen where it's just right place, right time, and then something works out. And he was happy to have me come in and do it. And just because Grievous doesn't have a mouth, you can change the dialogue on him up to the last minute, and I'm sitting there at the mix,
exactly.
So you can change the lines.
Right place at the right time. Let's have a look at a bit of Mr. General Grievous.
General Kenobi. You are the bold one. Kill him. I will deal with this Jedi slime myself.
Your move.
You fool! I've been trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku.
I think it's always unfair to actually fight General Grievous because we all know that he has asthma, and hence the reason why he coughs a lot. We have you here, and I want to put you under I want to put you to the test at the moment. I've got a couple of lines here that I would like to find out how General Grievous would actually portray them as such. These are well-known lines, and I thought if I hand you this, and we get our magicians in the sound booth there to change it around, you can give them a cue or whatever, and then try and say this fantastic Shakespearean phrase. Ready? And action.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
What we'll try and do now is we'll try and do it again, but this time let's not cover your face up with the words. Right, ready? You memorized it? You are a true actor, my friend. Right, ready? Let's just try that line again, that to be or not to be. Ready?
Okay.
And action.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
All right.
That's a long one.
Yeah, well, maybe the first couple of lines, if you feel like it. This is from President Bush's presidential inauguration speech. That's it works that way.
Nobody's recording this for YouTube.
Look, what I liked about it was it showed his true character. Okay, so ready?
Yeah.
And action.
I am a little team of food stuff. Here is my hand, here is my spot. When I get on Steve, here is shot. Take me over and pour me out.
For you. Now, we're not actually finished with you.
What?
We have a classic here. Green eggs and ham. I have always wanted to know how you will portray, how General Grievous put the little ones to sleep. So what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, picture if you will, it's story time with Uncle General Grievous. Mr. Matthew Wood. Grab a seat. You'll also see Matthew Wood behind the Force. If you've seen that show, it is hilarious. Coming up now, ladies and gentlemen, he is a legend. He is one of the most loved Star Wars characters. If you've seen him, you've been blessed. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at these screens. Please make some noise for Mr. Peter Mayhew! Grab a seat. Now can I have a quick look at, now that is fantastic. And it weighs a ton.
Yeah, it's a Wookiee stick.
It's a Wookiee stick.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Did you, obviously you went to the local Galactic store and bought that, or?
Well, we were out in Phoenix earlier this year to doing a convention.
Yes.
And this guy comes up, he says, do you like blowing things up? I said, yeah, well, you know all Wookiees like blowing stuff up. So he said, yeah, okay. I happen to be a gun manufacturer, and I also have a lathe that turns metal. I ain't gonna make you a Wookiee stick. And he took the measurements, and 3 months later, I get that through the post.
Wow.
Made by a fan. And this, not only that there's a lot of good fan stuff over the years that you guys have had sent to me and have been able to do, you know, stuff, and it's been wonderful. We've got a hell of a collection, so I just want to say thank you.
He is one of the most beloved characters. Everybody has a bear, a teddy bear at home. But let's take a look at Chewie in action. This is a clip from Hoth itself. Let's have a look.
Not Hoth.
Still no contact from Skywalker Solo.
Mr. Sliver, R2 says he's been quite unable to pick up any signals, although he does admit that his own range is far too weak to abandon all of them.
Your Highness, there's nothing more we can do tonight. The shield doors must be closed. Close the doors. Yes, sir.
R2 says the chances of survival are 725 to 1. Actually, R2 has been known to make mistakes from time to time.
You know what? Everybody says that Anthony Daniels has brought life to C-3PO. I have to say, it is difficult for an actor to actually portray anything with a naked face, but you portrayed a range of emotions there. How difficult was it to actually work in the costume?
It was, you got used to it. You know, for the first one, it was very difficult because you didn't know what the expressions were. You're working with latex and polystyrene, so you've got to be able to use your muscles to get the facial things, and most of it comes from the eyes. There are my own eyes, so it makes it very much easier. 3PO has got tunnel vision. I have 180 degree vision. Therefore, it makes it so much easier. You know, that particular shot, when you're laying on a scaffold pole or scaffolding, looking down at 3PO,
Right.
all you see is that. So you've got to make sure that that registers. And it's the same as the door that we've just seen. You know, you're hot, you're sweaty, Kershey's yelling down your neck, get it right, and suddenly you go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And you've worked it out in your mind, what you want to do, and as soon as that door hits, it's that's Chewie. And thank goodness for Matt's boss, that Ben Burke did all the sound, and he bought, I did certain things, but he bought Chewie to live audio. So, and I'm eternally grateful that he got the right noises for him. There it is.
Yeah.
And good brain.
Well, you know what? I was very excited when I found out that they were going to do Phantom Menace, and last week was the 10-year anniversary of the first screening of Phantom Menace. But one of the things that I was most excited about was whether or not they would bring the Wookiees back. David and Lou Alcey, who are good friends of mine, who are also great creators, they whispered in my ear and said, there may be a possibility, you never know, and we're all waiting for Chewie to arrive. Here's a little clip to show you just how it is when it comes to making up a Wookiee suit itself.
He is a teddy bear, and he's a security blanket at the same time. I was always big when I was growing up, and therefore I was taught that a big person can hurt a little person. So, using strength is not always good, and this is part of the Chewie character. And you'll find this with a lot of big guys. They don't like to hurt people.
Come here, you big coward. Chewie, come here.
Peter Mayhew is Chewbacca, and it's very unique the way he has created the character, and the way he walks, and the way he tilts his head, and the way he looks, the way he uses his eyes. You can't put anybody else in the suit. You know it's Peter.
I've worn the costume for 14 years. Get in, put it on, Chewie becomes a character again.
Excellent. How do you feel? Back home.
Back home.
You create, Peter creates the characters. How much do you need from an actor in order to enhance them from a sound point of view?
Well, I mean, definitely all starts with what you're seeing on screen. I mean, it's a symbiotic relationship, it's like 50-50. I mean, George calls sound 50% of the experience, the theatrical experience. And with Chewie's case, he's got the expressions and the right movement. We can fit all kinds of great stuff in there. Ben Burt had created a really great character. As Peter has said, we've definitely put a lot of time and work to have the same emotion that Peter is giving acting-wise and with the audio sounds, our creature vocals.
I've asked you this question before, Peter, but you obviously had the opportunity to speak, because from an actor's point of view, you want to be able to have a cue, and you also want to be able to be given a line so that you could just give your line.
True.
You've had the opportunity of actually speaking in the Wookiee suit?
Yes, there is a clip where we're in the medical boots, in the medical thing, and we go and see him. And to start the scene off, someone has to start. So they're talking about Obi-Wan.
Right.
And I started off by saying the old man's mad.
Yeah.
To trying to put the trap to be, and it comes out.
Yeah.
Just like that. Not like that.
What? Oh, we've not only found that clip, we've found other clips too that would possibly are. Let's have a look at this.
Hello! Chewie! Where you on? Get down here! I want to go back in here.
No, wait!
Huh?
I just had a bacon burger and a cup of coffee in the middle of the walker.
Let's have a look at this one there.
Sorry, am I interrupting anything?
What's up, player?
You look absolutely beautiful.
Cat.
No, that one I haven't seen.
Monkey!
These must be the best. Oh.
Now, I'm gonna put these on you.
I'm gonna slap you upside your head.
You can see him in the photo later.
Love it.
What can you tell me? Why is it that the best loved characters of Star Wars, and this is just my opinion, are all non-human? R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewbacca. What's your philosophy behind that?
That's a good question.
One good question. I could die happy.
I think that people, whether it be a mechanical droid or a human animal, tend to be courteous. Courteous maybe not the right word, but there is always a respect. And Chewie is a safety blanket. everybody's, I don't care who you are, you've always had safety net. To be able to go, right, it's the guy next door, it's your best mate at work, it's your co-worker, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, you just have respect for those. R2, yes, I have great respect for. 3PO, maybe, but that we'll keep as a secret between us. Each character has its own personality, right? And there's nothing worse than a mechanical droid, because they always go wrong. Wookiees? No.
Never go wrong.
You can bash them down, they'll get up and fight on and do everything that they need to do.
Well, I've got some questions from our audience. Chris Hickory from New York City asked Mayhew, how do you gather your sound effects?
Good question. Well, I have a little recording rig that I take around with me wherever I go, and I've got it here with me at Disney World actually, and I just try to get as many interesting sounds as I can in the field. And because people know I work in the industry, they'll say, "Hey, my toilet makes a really weird sound when it's when the water's refilling in the tank. You want to come over and get that?" So I've done that. I've gone over to friends' houses, recorded their toilets, and made them into swamp ambience or something. So it's just basically record things. You never really know what you're going to get until you take it back to the studio and you end up altering it in pitch or changing it or combining it with other sounds. So I try to just have the recorder available, all the time for that.
My question to you, Peter, this is from Bobby from Alabama. Were there any differences between getting in the costume suit for Revenge of the Sith as opposed to the old trilogy?
Yes, because the episode 3 was new and Chewie was younger. Therefore, they had to use different materials to make him look lighter. And everybody, when you look at the two, there is so much difference. The original suit was mohair with yak hair through it. They've used the modern foam back stuff, which is easier to work with, but it does not make you any more comfortable.
Right.
But they did, on the newer one, they did put a cooling suit underneath. So it may only be cold water, but it certainly made a big, big difference. Keeping the essential part of your body cool. And you were able to go on a fair amount of longer than you would do in the older Sagas.
Fantastic. Okay, we've almost run out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, could you please give a round of applause for Mr. Peter Mayhew? As usual, we must finish this off in the traditional fashion. So I'm going to hand you one of those. No. And I'm going to hand you one of those. And are you pleased? There you go. Right. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in nice and close. All right. Right. You set up nice. There you go. Isn't this lovely? Now, you've been given the lines?
Sure.
Right. Okay. We want to thank you all for joining us today. We know you're going to have a great time. The weekend's still here. We want to thank our guests. We're going to end it in the traditional fashion. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company.